I want to talk about upselling. Sell is a 4-letter word for help. So when I was trying to talk to people, I'm like, I don't want to sell these people on mulch. They're busy. I don't want to bother them, all this other stuff. I read a bunch of sales books, and I realized that selling is just helping. They have a need. I have a service or a product. I'm going to connect the two, and it's going to solve that person's problem. So sell, if you want to write this down, if you can remember anything from today, sell is a 4-letter word for help. So I want to talk about, how do you guys help customers? How do we cross-sell? How do we upsell?
Yeah, upselling and cross-selling. I love a guy named Dan Kennedy. He's an old school marketing guru from the 1990s. Like if you saw an infomercial, for you guys that are older know what I'm talking about, Dan Kennedy was behind that. But you have your current customer and then you just upsell and you cross-sell. I mean, that's the name of the game. So I think you need to find out what what services that you want to upsell and cross-sell, and then it just comes down to like what Mike's talking about, marketing, email marketing, talking to them in person, letting them know that you offer those services so the other guy doesn't get that.
Paul, what was your most effective way of cross-selling with your business? With like newsletters and email, phone calls?
I don't run high volume, so it was just word of mouth. Like, hey, seasonal flowers, for example. So every spring we put in begonias, and before you put in begonias down south, I just say, hey, flower season's coming up. What color combo do you want? And then if fall comes around, we do pansies. Hey, most of my customers are getting yellow and purple pansies. Would you like some? And just, kind of word of mouth, and then you just get used to every year. Hey, Paul, when you put the flowers in, so.
That's good. Blake, what do you got for upselling? How are you guys doing that?
Yeah, first off, I love the help, because that is so huge. Anytime, like earlier in my business, I was doing the same, listening to people selling, and I'm like, oh man, this is what you need to be a good business. And I hated it. Like I did not like that. Now it's just helping them, helping the lawn with aeration and other services. So at the beginning of the year, sending out a letter just with all of our services so they know straight up, or anytime we get a new customer, letting them know just then and there the services we offer. And then while we're on the properties, most of the time it's like, hey, do you do this service? And then it's walking through, oh yeah, we also offer core aeration, mulch, and then just going down the line. But like you said, and it happens still to this day, so obviously I need to do a better job as well. We all do. You show up to the yard and it's already aerated. I'm like, that is my fault. It's my fault that they didn't know I offered that service, and same with all of us. So you just have to find a way to communicate the services you offer to your current customers.
That's solid. Mike, what do you got, brother?
In terms of sales, I think the biggest thing that all of us need to focus on is that the reason you aren't selling is because you haven't sold yourself on your own products and services, and you don't actually believe in it enough to sell it to anyone else.
That's a mic drop.
Good.
That's a mic drop.
And so I think that's the number one thing. If you struggle with charging someone $500 for a property cleanup, and you're like, man, I don't know how anyone would buy this, you need to sell yourself on it first and convince yourself first. Because if you don't, you'll never, ever be able to sell anybody else. Because when you actually believe that you're the best option for them in their yard maintenance or their landscaping job, you will sell from a point of conviction instead of any sort of sales tactic that you've read in a book. And it'll come from the place of, if I do not convince Brian to get this wall project installed by me, I've failed him. And because I care about Brian, I have the conviction that he must buy from me, otherwise I have let him down. And when you sell from that point of view, you will never walk away from a sale with the expectation that I could have done better on that, because you will leave everything on the court to make sure that sale goes through. You will not need any sort of tactic, say this affirmation, wear this, rub this lucky penny. It'll be a matter of, I am selling this because I care about the customer, and if I don't, I'm letting them down.